Hello, I'm Emily Tullock, and you're watching Cape Media News. Today's guest is Madhavi, founder and executive director of Sustainable Practices, and she's here to discuss the Cape Plastic Bottle Ban campaign. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so very much for having me.
Absolutely. For those not familiar, can you tell us a little bit about the mission of Sustainable Practices?
Our goal is really to facilitate a culture of sustainability, which really means to reduce the human impact on the planet and to protect all life.
Back in 2019, your organization initiated the Municipal Plastic Bottle Ban. Can you explain to us what this is, why it's important, especially on Cape Cod, to reduce our plastic usage?
What we started off with regard to the municipal ban was the belief that the government exists to protect the welfare of the public. So the goal was to actually get the government to see and admit that use of single-use plastic is adverse to both the environment as well as human health. And we were successful in having 11 towns eliminate their single purchase of plastic bottle beverages, that's any kind of beverage in a single-use plastic container, and eliminate, in most cases, the ability for anybody operating on town property to sell a beverage in single-use plastic. So the goal of the plastic ban is singular in one sense. The idea is to actually institute what we would call economic literacy from looking at the life cycle costs of any product we consume. We pick plastic bottles for the simple fact that everybody is very knowledgeable about them. Almost everyone has come into contact with them, but not everybody really sits back and analyzes the cost inherent in them. You think about the price, and unfortunately the price has become synonymous with the cost, but that's not true. So it has a greenhouse gas footprint. Plastic is a petroleum-based product. On top of that, it has an emissions impact during its production phase, which is adverse to human health. We know that through elevated cancer rates around Corpus Christi, Texas, which is just one refinery and production area. Then we know when it's transported and it actually gets to the point of consumption, there are two other issues that are occurring. One, you're creating a social justice issue, water justice, in the community in which that water is being pumped and then resold somewhere else. And we're not even cognizant of the fact that we're taking somebody else's water. But then we also have the leachate into the water that we are drinking from the plastic itself, especially if there's been an expansion and contraction of that plastic. Then finally at disposal, which is even probably the most significant stage, because at disposal, we don't even know how long plastic will continue to exist in our environment. We know that it's not biodegradable, it's only photodegradable, and will continue to break down into smaller and smaller parts, none of which are biologically capable of being metabolized. These are big issues. They are issues that are emerging in the sense that we haven't really started to measure the human health impact in the ingestion of plastic. But when we think about this from a profitability perspective, what you're also seeing very clearly is that businesses are making money out of the subsidization of these products through the environment as well as future health of individuals. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, should we be having any kind of product on the market that actually leads to long-term health consequences and cleanup consequences for future generations?
The Cape Plastic Bottle Ban is making its way across Cape Cod right now from town to town, the town meetings. Can you tell us what towns have passed it so far and what towns will be voting on it soon? And also, if our viewers are interested in learning more, where can they learn more?
So last year with the municipal plastic bottle ban, we passed in 11 towns, which are the same towns that the commercial single-use plastic water bottle ban is now being what is the word like I'm looking for? The word we're actually talking about it on town meeting floor. It's subject to vote as an article, as a bylaw this year. The Cape Plastic Bottle Ban is actually our overarching name for both the municipal ban and the commercial ban. But the commercial ban has passed thus far in Brewster, Wellfleet, Falmouth, Provincetown, Eastham, and Harwich. And I went in order of the town meetings. We have 6 more town meetings to go, 4 of which will be specific to the commercial ban, 2 of which will be to the municipal ban, because we only passed 11 last year because we only filed 11. We filed the other 4 with Barnstable, which is not a town meeting based government, but a town council, and they are currently adopting the municipal ban. We let the Board of Selectmen take it as an article in Truro, so they unfortunately postponed their citizens petitions to spring of next year. But in Bourne and Mashpee, the municipal ban will be coming up to vote in October and November. The commercial ban will be coming up this month in October, coming up in Dennis and in Orleans, and then subsequent to that in Yarmouth and in Sandwich. So really hoping that we get all 10. The fact that we've gotten some really large cities like Harwich and Falmouth that have major retailers is a strong plus for us. What this will tell us and show a signal to our visitors is that we will no longer take single-use plastic bottles and have them in our stores. So you will go down to a Stop and Shop, and that aisle, half aisle that has single-use plastic water bottles will no longer be there. And hopefully that will be food for thought for people to think about why they're consuming other items than single-use plastic, and they'll start to educate themselves. And we are trying very hard to do as much outreach as possible from an educational perspective. So people can find out more information on our website, sustainablepracticesltd.org.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and best of luck.
Thank you.
For Cape Media News, I'm Emily Tullock.